Now to our deep dive, and tonight we're following the latest recovery and relief efforts in Jamaica. So far, officials there have confirmed 19 deaths from Hurricane Melissa, now the largest storm to hit Jamaica in the island's history. That number could go up as search and recovery teams keep working through the hardest hit areas. And relief crews, they're making their way into devastated communities, and international teams from both the U.S. and the U.K. are already on the ground. They're bringing along search dogs and much-needed emergency supplies, while Jamaican authorities have declared the entire island a disaster zone. Now, it's still tough going. The power is out for most of the island, and blocked roads are making it slow to get help to some spots. But aid shipments are coming in, and shelter efforts have started, even as officials warn the crisis could get worse for regions that remain cut off from support. Joining us now is John Lyon, Executive Director of Haiti Air Ambulance and a response team leader for Operation One Love. He's on the ground right now in Jamaica amid the ongoing relief and recovery effort. Thanks for joining me now. Now, these are hard-hit communities in Jamaica, have some pressing and urgent needs. Can you describe what your days look like for you and your team?
Our team isn't sleeping very much, that is for sure, and we're not eating a whole lot either. We're just trying to work as expeditiously and as efficiently as possible to be able to get relief out to the communities. What we're doing is really focusing first on search and rescue, and that means actually getting communications up throughout Western Jamaica, and that getting those communications lined up will actually help the emergency operations command have better visibility on what's happening in the heart of the country.
Now, John, what immediate needs are you prioritizing and why?
So we're prioritizing communications because that allows us to know what prioritize like medevacs and CASEVACs, or casualty evacuations and medevacs. So what we're doing is we're getting Starlink internet systems set up at the health clinics and the emergency operations centers. And what we're finding is as we get those Starlinks lined up, we're now getting data and information about who needs to be rescued and how to prioritize those rescues. So that's what's happening right now.
I gotta ask you, what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now in reaching people who need help, and how are crews working to overcome those roadblocks and power outages across the island?
So much of the internal part of Jamaica, particularly on the western part of the island in St. Elizabeth and in Westmoreland, there's most of those communities are inaccessible by anything other than helicopters. So we've, under our consortium of NGOs, Medicorps, Haiti Air Ambulance, DIGG, and Lift Nonprofit Logistics, we are bringing in multiple helicopters to provide that last mile logistics to get in and out.
Now, John, for families impacted by the hurricane, what kind of immediate assistance and support are you able to provide? And what's the plan for the days ahead as recovery efforts continue?
Well, as we move forward with recovery, I mean, even before recovery, we're still in the search and rescue phase, right? So we're now, once we'll move into the relief phase where we can actually start moving more product into the humanitarian assistance into those communities, which that's just starting, I'd say today, part of yesterday, you're starting to see like kitchens and food systems starting to get set up, but it's very early stage right now. And that's critical because it's been a long time since that part of the system has been started. So people are really starting to get desperate.
All right, John Lyon, thank you for your work and stay safe out there.
Thank you very much.
Now, as recovery efforts intensify across Jamaica after the devastation of Hurricane Melissa, food isn't just about survival. It's about hope and resilience. And few organizations know this better than World Central Kitchen, led by Chef Jose Andres, who I managed to speak to as soon as he touched down in Kingston, Jamaica. I asked him about their mission, and here's what he had to say.
Well, we do food and water. Usually it's not only food and water, but it's creating the systems of distribution. So very, very often at the very beginning, we are doing more things. We can be helping deliver medicines or helping deliver solar lights, all of the above. But already we had teams here before the hurricane, like always. Unfortunately, we had experience in Jamaica before. But the good thing is that we built resilience. We already had more than 50 restaurants and chefs in different parts, not only here in Kingston, in the capital, but Montego and other parts. ready. We already had food and kitchens, and right now we have teams going all over trying to see the areas. Obviously, we know the areas harder hit, making sure that we are reaching them. I know the government is doing an amazing, crazy job in the last 48 hours, making sure that they clean the roads. We have helicopters ready to be delivering. So we're going to make sure that food and water in these early days, early weeks, is not one of the issues that the people in Jamaica are going to be going through.
Now, over the past week, I've witnessed both devastation and incredible resilience in Jamaica. I arrived a few days ahead of the hurricane and watched as families, neighbors, and entire communities braced for impact. And when the storm made landfall, the destruction was heartbreaking. Homes were torn apart, roads flooded, power was knocked out, and everywhere you looked, people were trying to process what they'd lost. But amid that chaos, what truly stood out to me was the unstoppable spirit of the Jamaican people. There was a saying I repeatedly heard: "We are small but strong." Immediately after the storm, strangers became family. I saw neighbors clearing debris together, volunteers bringing food and water to shelters, and young people checking on the elderly and vulnerable, making sure no one was left behind. From urban Kingston to the rural parishes hardest hit, there was an unshakable urge to help, regardless of the obstacles in their way. And it wasn't just about rebuilding homes, it was about rebuilding hope, one small act of kindness at a time.